Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today, I thought we would make this to go inside our box. And you can make these out of any paper, any type of cardstock. You can make them out of anything. Even just regular printer paper, if you choose, to put in your box. So what I thought I wanted to do was I wanted to mount at least one on the inside of my box. Now I've glued this up here, and I want to put one down here just as part of the inside. And this one is the one that I want to put down here. And it's basically just two little pockets together, 1, 2, and it's got a little cover on the back. And I've made this one, and since I've made it, this one, I want to make a few changes to it. So that's all it is. It's just two little pockets with a little cover on it. And and I glued down my little Velcros. I added a few little, I want to trim this little piece right here because that's going to make me crazy. Crazy, sticking up all the time, and I'm not going to like it. It's going to look messy. And then I'm going to go over it. That little spot that's white, but that's okay. And so now in here, you can put stuff down in these pockets because there are some gussets. And then I folded it so that it's got there's actually a couple of folds. The folds, there's a fold, I folded it so that it met the top, and then I started folding again, and then it's got another fold. I'm going to put my finger over this, and then it's got a higher up fold up here so that anything a little bit taller can stand up and not get squished when you put it in. So you can put little pieces of ephemera in here. You can put stickers in here. You know, I got this sticker stuck to my hand. You can put anything you wanted in here and drop it into your box, and it doesn't kind of get lost in there. Okay, so I'm going to leave this open so these can dry and, not get torn apart. But I want to keep it close so we can use it. So what are we going to need to do this? Well, you're going to need a couple pieces of cardstock scrap, and you might want your dauber and some ink. I used my little craft knife to angle my corners here, but you could use your scissors. That's all right. I used my little blending brush, but you could use your dauber. I used my pencil. You don't need your pencil if you don't want it, but you could use it. And the reason I used it was for my measuring. So totally up to you. You're going to need something to press your creases into your, okay, I went completely, words are hard today. Words are just really hard. I think I need to eat something. Now you could also use, instead of this little thing like I've got, you could use your bone folder. This is basically a bone folder with a handle. But you're definitely going to need your scissors, and you're going to need something for your closure. Now, I chose Velcro dots. You could use something else if you wanted, and you're going to need your ruler. So my little pockets are right here. My little pockets measure, I do believe, they are 4 inches wide, and I think they're 3 inches tall. Yes, they're 3 inches tall. So they are 4 by 3. So it's small, but it's not itsy bitsy teeny tiny. But you can make these any size that you choose. Now, my little gussets are 4 inches tall. 3 inches tall and 1 inch wide. Okay, so they're 3 inches tall, so you need to cut your gussets the height of your pocket. So if your pocket's going to be 6 inches tall, you need to cut your gusset 6 inches tall. But they are 1 inch wide. And then you need to fold them in half, which is what I'm doing here. Not very well on that one, and that's okay. They don't have to be perfect. Now, your backing piece needs to be 6 inches tall and 4 inches wide. So you need to cut your backing piece to be a 4 by 6. And then you need to, at the bottom, now my bottom piece might be changing, so I'm not going to tell you how much to fold this little flap at the bottom because it might be changing. And then you're going to need 3 little scrap pieces. Okay, I have 3 little scrap pieces that are my pockets. They can be any color, any pattern, but these are what make up my pockets. Okay, now I chose, and mine have somewhat of a pattern, I think. Yeah, I think they have a pattern. They go like this. They go up and down. A pattern direction is what I'm trying to say. And I did find out that it's easier for me to punch my hole before I do this because I forgot the last time and I had to do it after I got it on there. And it's also easier to ink my pages before because, again, I forgot to do it and I had to do it afterwards. So I'm going to go on and ink these up here real quick. And I'm not doing a lot of inking. I'm just going on the sides here. And I want to go across the bottom. Now, the green, I'm not going to be able to see it, but I do want to come across the top because I will see that. And I will see the side because it's white from where I cut it. And the bottom. And the same with this one. Okay. So it did not take me long to do this. So, oops, I just took a big old chunk right out of there. Okay, so they're done. So I'm just going to fold my last little gusset in half. And then I'm just taking this and I'm just going right over top of it. Okay, now I'm putting my gussets on my green because they match my green. So I'm sitting it going the right direction and the fold goes to the outside. Come on. Now behave yourself. Don't be shy. That goes that way, so I need to hold this side. Now, there you come. Come on. You were just being a nice glue bottle. Now remember, your fold goes to the outside. Just like that. Okay. Oops. Just like that. Now, I have my pockets alternating patterns. Now, you could have them all the same pattern if you wanted. That's totally up to you. If you want them all to be the same, that's fine. But these colors all came from the same pattern pack, or paper pack, I mean. So I knew they would be okay together. And they were just scraps from that, from that pack. Actually, this one was the scrap. The green was the full piece. So I thought, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I have my little things down here on my green. See, the folds are to the outside. Now, before I put this on, what I want to do is I want to put this piece on. So, because I want to hide the bottom. So I'm going to open this up, and I think I need to fold this up a full inch. That's what I think I'm going to need to do to give myself the amount of room I'm going to need to go all the way around. Maybe. Let's try it without it and see. So to do that, I'm going to go on and glue here. Now, I cut this at an angle. I cut this at an angle to give me the room inside here to fit and take away some bulk. Okay, so you put it in. Now, this is the front. You put it in, but you want your corners. I'm going to show you. Hold on a second. Just hold on a second. You wiggle it and you jiggle it until it's out. There you go. Okay, you want your corners all the way, and I think I just did it backwards, till they're all the way out to the fold. Okay? I did do it backwards. Darn it. Because I wanted it to fold all the way up and around. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so this would be my back piece. Or didn't I? Did I do that on the right side? Lori, what did you do, girly? Yeah. Now you're going to close your backs. You're going to close in your back. You're going to bring this up. Yeah, I can't wrap it all the way around. Okay. So now this is my back. Okay. My back is covered. Okay. So I can put my glue right here. And bring this all the way up. Now, before I glue anything else, I want to take my little brush and I'm going to come here on the inside. And this is the one I want on top. Oh, I see what I did. I see what I did. I have one too many. And I wasn't straight. I did do it crooked. Let's see if I can straighten it up here. Before, nope, I can't. Darn it. All right, let's make this straight and then I'll... Oh, for goodness sakes, Lori, how in the heck did you do that? I did not line that up straight. All right, well, I am taking this off because I do not want this crooked. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Okay. My channel is all about showing you mistakes. All right, so I got it off without totally destroying it. This is what happened to my paper. Okay. I got the front on and it's straight. So now let's see where this needs to sit. This needs to sit here. So let's start this again. Actually, let's use our pencil to mark where that needs to sit. And let's try this again. Let's see if this works this time. I'm not about hiding mistakes because beginners, I want beginners to see that, you know, I've been doing this for a while and I make mistakes, and I want you to see that, you know, I make them. Okay, that's going to sit there. Okay, now these have to be able to close. All right, that's straight. These have to be able to close because they're going to sit. Okay, so this, I don't have this even. I think that might be, no? All right, so I'm going to use my scissors here. Let's cover this. And down here, so that this closes, because I need that to close for my pocket. Oh, darn, you all know what I did? I did it backwards again. I bet you all are out there hollering at me, aren't you? It goes this way. It goes this way because it has to close and come down. Oh my gosh. Where in the world is my brain? It apparently is not in my head. All right. All right, let's try this again. All right, it goes this way. Now let's center it a little bit better. Holy guacamole, you guys. It's going to be one of those days. All right. Now these close. And this comes up. Okay, maybe not. Wipe that glue off my hands. This is now your pocket. Now you have to make sure that this is straight. Okay, it has to be even across the bottom with the rest of them. And even on your sides. Now, if you're off, like I think I'm a little bit off here, that's okay. Now, I'm a little off here, but I can ink that. Now, I want my corners on this one rounded, just like the other one. And I want to ink the inside of this. Okay, so I also want this one to have a little bit of a taller lip up here. See what I'm doing? I have a little bit of a taller lift, and to make it rounded, I'm using my brush handle. So go like this. I'm holding the paper with my thumb, but I'm using my brush handle. like that. Okay, now we'll do it on this side. There we go. Right there. Now it still needs to be even. Right there. Now, if you're not satisfied with your back, which I'm not. It's a little messy. I'm going to put this back here for an additional pocket. Because of all the problems I had, I'm just going to put this on the back for an additional pocket to cover up that edge. There. Just like that. Now it's a little bit neater. Okay. Now down here, okay, I need to make sure everything is down. Now, I'm not going to put this one inside the box because I don't think it would do very well. I'm afraid it's not. I'm afraid it wouldn't hold up. So I will have to make another one. Okay, so let's get our paper cut here to do another one. Now, to put your Velcro on here, depending on how your Velcro, if you think your Velcro is sticky enough, you don't need to put glue on it. Now mine is extremely sticky, but I don't trust double stick tape very well. And this one happens to be getting a little bit schmucky. And I don't know, I'm not real sure what that is. So I am going to, there. It's got a little bit of glue on it now, just to help it. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the other side. They're very sticky. I get my little Velcro dots at the Dollar Tree. They are the stickiest things. I've tried others. I've tried, ordering them online. I've tried the ones that you use for sewing. And these are by far, the ones from the Dollar Tree are by far the stickiest and most well-made dots I have ever used. Okay. I'm going to pull it apart and I'm going to wipe off the excess glue that oozed out with a paper towel. And then I let it sit open for the glue to dry. Now, I don't always glue them. It depends on what I'm using them for. Something like this that would get opened quite frequently, I would definitely glue it. Something that, really isn't going to get opened quite a bit, I don't think that I would glue it. But something like this that's going to go in a box, a little storage box, I think that I would. Okay, this one I think I'll save for my box, but the one I'm sending off, that worked out a little bit better. I definitely think I will, I'll put it in the box. Okay, so what kind of closure are we going to put on the box? Okay, well, I decided for my closure, I want to use this little button. And it's a vintage, excuse me, it's a vintage button. It's got vintage lace. And back here's a little piece of vintage lace, and it's on some vintage crochet and vintage fabric. And I just punched out a circle with of heavy-duty cardstock, and then I used some white or creamy, what is it called? It's not thread, it's sewing twine. And stitch the button. Well, now, I take that back. The button already had this twine in it. I didn't put that in it, but I stitched this vintage thread stuff to it, all the layers to it. I stitched all that to it, and then I glued the button on top of it. Does that make sense? The button already had the vintage thread in it, and then I stitched all of the vintage crochet, the vintage lace. See, down here's the crochet, and the lace and the fabrics and all that to it, just with a really simple stitch through this heavy-duty cardstock circle. Then I glued, I think that's what I did. I don't know, it's moving kind of easy. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I stitched it. Nope, I didn't. I stitched it all the way through. Well, how about that? This one I didn't. This one I stitched all the way through. So this little vintage button got stitched on. How about that? I guess it was the other one I glued. Okay, so this one I stitched all my layers together with one stitch onto the cardstock button. So I want to take this and I want to put, see, it's got the blue in it that I really like. And I want to put it, I think I want to put it so the blue is kind of down here. And I want to put it right here. And because it's got, it's fabric, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac to attach it. And then on the corners here, I'm going to put my book corners. I'm going to put some book corners right here. And we're going to do that today. So let me grab them here. And they're right here. So we're going to put those on. And here's the Fabri-Tac. Oh, you know what? I need my little squeezy dudes. Okay, here they are. Well, I'm quite disappointed. My little envelope did not work out the way I wanted it to for inside my box. So I am going to have to work on that. Now, let's see which ones would fit. I'm hoping these will, because these are the ones that I want on it. But they might not. No, they will not. So I think I do have some small ones here. Okay, that one's too small. So that means that one's too small. That one's too big. Let's see about this one. Oh, now I like that one. All right, let's see if I have two of these. There's one right there. All right, so we're going to put those two on. All right, so to put book corners on, you can put them on any book that you choose, you know, that you make. I not only put them on hardcover books, but sometimes I even put them on different things. They look like this on the inside. And these little flanges, you're going to clamp down to the corners here. So you just take a little bit of glue and you just run it on the inside. You don't want to put a lot. There are little, I don't know if you can see it. There in the inside there are little feet sticking up. Can you see them? And they're going to grab the book. So you have to be, everything has to be down and ready, because when you clamp this in, everything has to be underneath it. Now, I can push it to start with my fingers, and then you take a paper towel, a clean cloth, something, and you take something like this, because you don't want to scratch them, over top of it, and you make sure it's pushed in all the way, because those little teeth are going to grab your book. Okay. Yep, it's all the way in. Those little teeth are grabbing my book and not allowing it, this book cover, or these book edges, to come off. Okay. There's that one. Oh, I need to put that one back away. Now, let me see if I can show you better. Here. See, right here, right there. Can you see that? Right there. There are little teeth in there. There's 2 on that flange, and there's 2 on that flange right there. And they grab hold of the book on the inside. There, see? See those little dots? Those are where the teeth are on the inside of the clamp. And they grab hold of this so that they, let's see, I might need to trim this side so that can clamp better. They grab hold of it so that they hold tight. And they protect your book cover from doing things like this. See how mine had gotten squished? Originally, this book cover had gotten squished on the corners. It'll protect it from getting things like that. And it doesn't take a lot of glue. And you really don't even have to use glue. I just put just a little smidgen of glue to help it, just to help it a little bit. Okay, and before you clamp it down, it's important to make sure that everything is underneath it. Everything is where you want it to be. Everything is, you know, in its place, especially if you're putting them in, and the inside of a book is covered with fabric. We have made books that are covered with fabric, and I've used these. It's important to do this and make sure that all of your fabric is underneath these. Because once it's clamped, it's clamped. There's no moving it around. Okay, and then also, it's important to rub off any additional glue that squirts out these little corners right here. You need to wipe that off before you walk away from it. Okay. There we go. All right, now I want to go on and put this on. Okay, so there's my cover, and I've got that. Now, I played around yesterday with, now let's put that in there so we don't lose that, or I don't lose that. Now, I played around after our last video with different washi tapes. You know, I want to put washi tape here on the end, and I thought, you know, do I want to continue my map? But, you know, then it kind of covers this one. Whoops. This one kind of covers up everything. If I put it there, you know, because it's so wide. Now, of course, I can cut it if I want. But then I thought, you know, I can bring in some different colors. Oops, I need to glue this paper down up here. I can bring in some different color and pattern if I choose. And I think I want to do that. I think I want to bring in some different texture and pattern, and I think I might want to use some of this fabric washi tape. Now, I could also just use fabric if I wanted. Now, the thing with just using fabric is, you know, then I have to deal with the glue. Then I got to deal with messing with glue. So I might as well just use fabric washi tape. Now this one has all the colors that are on the front. The blues, the greens, the tans. And it looks very nice. This one, which is the one that I chose, has the reds. The reds, the greens. And I really like that. It pulls out the greens that are here and the red of my airplane and of this stamp. So this is the one that I'm going to use. And this stuff is so sticky. Oh my gracious. Once I get it down, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about it. So I'm going to start it on this side. Now, I have a hard time with this, keeping this stuff straight, so I'm going to try really hard. And I cut it a little bit longer than what I needed. Because I can always trim. And, I wanted to go something a little sturdier over here because it's, rather than this thin. Now, some of this will go into the box as a supply. So I'll paper clip it. Okay, let's do the other side. See, the red picks up that stamp, and the green just picks up all the green. I really, really liked this with it. I was quite satisfied when I got out my box yesterday of washi tape and started poking around in it. Yeah, I forget sometimes what I have in there because, it's up on the shelf. I found some in there actually that I haven't even used yet. It's like, huh. All right, so now I can trim this off since I didn't need that. So let's go on and just trim that. This is why my scissors get so sticky. Because I'm always cutting the sticky stuff. Okay. All right, so now I think our cover might be finished, but you never know with me. I'm always adding different things. I don't think that it is finished. I think I will probably add some other little doodads. So things like this, these pieces that I cut, I'll either save them or I'll roll them up like this, and I'll use them because I have a project that I'm working on, and I might use them on that project. There, and I just clip it closed with a paper clip. That way it's not bouncing all across the desk. All right. Well, so far I'm liking it. So I might, put some other little things on there. Like I have down my butterflies. But when I put them out on here, they were a little big. But because they're so airy, so thin and airy, they didn't look bad. And I really liked, like, here's the green one. There's the green one. But I really liked, let me get a hold of it here. I really liked this one. Let me see, which way does it go? I think it goes this way. but she just kind of disappeared, that color. So I was wondering, now this one I like too. And she might actually, even though when you think about her color, she really showed up nicely on there. And I was wondering if I could even dye her, because they're paper. You know, if I could maybe spray some dye on her, because they're just cut paper, to add some color to her, or somehow or another use ink on her without tearing it up. Maybe with my brushes, just to add some color. These are flowers, to the flowers. So, I don't know. So I'm thinking if I got out my pink ink that I have, maybe, let's see. Maybe I'm going to try that, but I'm going to do it off camera so that, you know, I can do it really slow. And if it works, I'll put it on there. And if not, well, you know, of course I won't. I will have lost my butterfly. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. We've gotten our cover completed. We got one project completed to go inside of it. So our next video, let's see, so far I think this is part 4. So part 5, we're going to start getting some things together to go in our box. And we are going to get the thing made that's going to go across the inside of it. I have to just recollect my thoughts on that, since it went so badly today. I have to recollect my thoughts, and we'll get it done. We will get it done. I'll sit down and I'll have a glass of tea, and we'll get it done. I promise. We'll get it done. But I have to just get myself together after that debacle today. So this is what we have so far. Everything is coming together. We have our spine taken care of. We've got this finished. We have our first project complete and ready to go in, ready to accept some of our goodies. And I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. We have our button on for our closure. So life is good. And here is our little yep, it's closed up and ready to go. And here's our little double pocket, ready to accept some little goodies in there. Yes, I'm excited. And then this will go inside here. And this is a lot of room, you know, to put things in. So I'm looking forward to filling this up and sending it off to my challenge friend. Okay, so I want to thank you all for joining me today in this fun challenge that I'm in. And I hope that you come back and join me again as we continue creating my box and having some fun. And I hope that you're creating one too, because these are so much fun to do. And I'm just really having a good time at this. And I'm taking my time and making things for it, and just, you know, thinking of all the fun stuff that I can put in it. And I hope that you are too, and you do that with me. So until I see you again in our next Ladybug Journals video, ta-ta for now.